Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Today we're going to be talking about my full first impressions of the H&R springs on my MK7 GTI. So, first thing I could definitely say about the springs, absolutely amazing. They handle extremely well, and they're fantastic. They don't mess up the ride of the car at all. They do make it a little bit more firm on the bumps and stuff like that, on the rebound. But since you're on the stock shocks, it actually doesn't feel bad at all. And I can take corners now at a higher rate of speed. You can take corners at a higher rate of speed now because of the fact that it's more confident inspired of the fact that I'm more confident in the way the car is going to handle or react when I go around a corner at a high rate of speed. So I'm actually very curious to how this is going to handle on track days. But as you can see now, I don't know if you can tell, I'm actually up here in Bear Mountain, and there's some perfect roads. Some perfect roads that I'm on right now. It's absolutely epically amazing. And I love it. I love the way that the car responds to modifications as I go along. But definitely a fantastic upgrade if you do have a Mark7, and I'm sure this is going to work for all other type of company, all other type of brands as well when it comes to your make and model of a car. If you're doing springs, I think this is a good option for everybody to really invest in springs before you consider doing full-blown coilovers. Now, if your car is specifically going to be track ready focus, if it's going to be just track focus, then I would say that maybe then maybe you should invest in coilovers. But for what you're using it for every day, I drive my car, like I said, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, my job is about 35 miles away from my house, one way. So I drive about 70 miles a day. I don't want something that's gonna be bouncing up and down the road all day and make me feel uncomfortable. When I get in my GTI, I'm excited to get in my GTI. Even though I own the car, I still always want to get in my GTI. I'm so happy to be getting in my GTI and driving and be like, oh man, it's gonna be a great drive home or a great drive to the store or drive anything. And this suspension boosts the confidence in that. Now, what I want to talk about is price. So coilovers average on this car roughly cost anywhere from like $1,000 to anywhere to $2,000 to $3,000, and that's for some really high-end track coilovers. For retail, for springs, they're about $350 retail, and it's not a bad investment. Literally, you could spend the $350 and then you'll probably spend another $200 to $300 in labor depending on the shop that you go to. But it took us about to install the springs on the car. I did it myself along with Calvin and Mike. If you didn't see that review, please click in the upper right hand corner of the screen and you'll guide you right to that video. It's pretty funny, and of course it's a good time with me and my buddies doing car stuff. But one thing I definitely want to say is that 7 hours, the reason why it took us 7 hours to complete the spring install was because of the fact, you're taking the complete front end suspension out of the car. You're taking the struts out, then you have to disassemble the strut itself, and then you have to, take the spring out and put the new spring in, then reassemble the whole strut back in, then put the strut back in the car, and then torque everything down. Also on this car, this axles had to slightly come out. I heard there's a couple other ways that you can do it too, but you can actually, the way that I did it was that we actually slid the axles out of the transmission casing and was able to get to taking out the strut very easily after that. A lot of people are skeptical on doing this due to the fact of the bolts take a long time to come out, and then you have to replace them once you do it because the axle might come apart, and there's a lot of skeptical moments where I was thinking like, okay, maybe I should not do this. But just to let everybody know, I did follow the proper precautions of taking out the axle bolts. But just want to let everyone know that it took us about 7 hours. It was 39 degrees. It was very funny and comical, but as far as the enjoyment of doing it with my friends and car stuff, but it was I prefer doing it on a nice winter day. And if you don't know what you're doing with suspension, and if you're not willing to learn and take your time, then I wouldn't recommend you doing it yourself. I would recommend you doing it with a professional. I'm actually going to go on some nice S-curve roads and show you what the suspension is like. So here we go. And as I said, it handles extremely well the transitions. It eliminates most of the body roll. I would say there's still about 20% body roll there left. So hopefully maybe we can get a rear sway bar in the car to dial it all out. And literally the car handles extremely well. Like, I really like the way that it feels. I don't regret doing the H&R springs at all over coilovers. It lowers the car pretty nicely, actually, to really be honest with you. Really do enjoy it. And I really love the aspect of the springs. Now, you know, you don't necessarily have to do springs. One reason why I wanted to do it, it lowers the car 1.3 inches from stock. And I really wanted to do that because I've seen how these springs look on other Volkswagens, and it actually looks like you got a set of coilovers on the car when you put the springs on. So I was like, okay, let me just do that. And I believe the rear struts on this car, if they, you know, some people say, well, you know, you put lowering springs on stock struts, then, you know, they're going to tend to blow out. If that happens, I'll probably update shocks later on in the car's life. I really don't mind replacing the struts with another set of stock struts because of the fact that they're $70 or $80 for the rears alone. And the fronts, I'm not exactly sure, but they're like about $40, $50 more, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, don't quote me on that. But they're inexpensive, essentially. And it doesn't, and like Shop Dap has put H&R springs and VWR springs on their car, and they haven't had any issues with struts blowing at all. But definitely I think you guys should definitely consider these. I'm definitely going to do more autocross in the summertime and in the springtime, and also I got a set of wheels that I'm going to be getting too, and I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to do the wheels because then the wheels are going to sit flush with the body, and I already got the specs and everything picked out of what I'm going to be using it for. So definitely is going to be a really, really good time when that happens. I actually really want to get on the car one more time before we end today. Like I said, it's going to be it was a short review today, but I'm actually going to do a couple more pulls for you guys on the mountain. It's a beautiful mountain, by the way. It definitely is really, really nice. So here we go. Beautiful S-curves coming up. These transitions like that and like that. It just, the car's just really darty. It was darty before, but now it's just like, it's darty. It just really wants to go where it wants to go. Guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this review of the H&R springs review, and I'll put the description below on the bottom of where you can guys get these up. Get these springs for yourselves. All right, talk to you guys later in the next one. Take care. If you want a sneak peek of what's gonna happen next in the review, just watch this clip.